Good evening. Tonight I'm going to talk about Linux Fedora 39 and the latest release of Fedora version 39 is released. It is going to be on a workstation running as a virtual machine on a Windows operating system as the host operating system, and the guest operating system is the Linux Fedora 39 workstation. The kernel build is going to be 6.5.6-300, and it's going to be a full course from zero to hero. This is what this video is all about. So we're going to start from the very basic level, novice to advanced level. That's why the fact that we say zero, nobody's at zero level, but I'm just expecting you to not know anything about Linux Fedora or the release or the Linux at all, or the operating system, how it works. I'm going to start from the very bottom, and then I'm going to build up to basic to intermediate, and intermediate to advanced, and advanced to maybe expert level. You will learn a lot on this course. So this is a full course. Again, it's going to be from zero to hero for Linux Fedora 39. And the build kernel, and this one I'm giving you more information. So 6.5.6-300, and the code name is FC39, which is Fedora code 39. And it's going to be on x86 64 platform, which means that it's going to run on Intel and AMD processors and any processor that are x86 architecture. It's 64-bit, meaning that the operating system is much faster than the previous 32 bits, and then all of the operating system nowadays are at least 64-bit or at most now, but there are going to be later on 128-bit. At least zettabyte file system, the file system is 128-bit. Depending on the file system that you're using, is also important on the operating system to make sure it handles those ones. So we're going to have a table of contents or agenda in this case. For the full course, I'm going to be discussing about installation and system update. So you have to be able to install Fedora ISO image into a Linux or Windows host operating system as a guest operating system or as a desktop. You just download the ISO image and then you install it. Once you install it, then you do a system update. The system update is going to make your system up to date for all the packages that are on the server side on the Linux Fedora project, that or the ISO image, that you can just get it. Sometimes certain packages you have to be connected to the internet to get it from the repository. On Fedora, Rocky, CentOS, Red Hat, all of them are based on the RPMs, Red Hat Package Manager, and Yum, Yellow Dog Update Manager, and then also DNF, which is Yum is now symbolic link to DNF, and I'm going to show that one to you. DNF and DNF3, which is a Python script that is running all this software update when you do the system update with DNF update or Yum update. So I'm going to be discussing that one in detail afterward. But then we are going to also have the graphical user interface. The GUI interface, which is a very kind of user-friendly, that it allows anybody to just click a few buttons and get the job done. However, with the GUI interface, whatever is on the icons or graphical interface that is available to you, that's all you have there. But in order for you to master it, you need to learn the command line. The command line, you could write any kind of scripting, Python, C, C++, Go language, everything. If you're a programmer, or even if you're a scripter, you could write it on Python and Perl and C. And not C, it's a programming language, compile language. But any interpreter like Bash and awk and awk and geawk, all of those ones you can run it, and then from the command line you can just pass on the parameter, and execute the command. And if it is not an icon for you, the graphical interface, you can write your script and then put the icon for it and just create it and run it later. So we're gonna also talk about Linux file system. Although from the old version of Linux and Unix, there's all kind of file system that is supported on Unix and Linux and Mac. Mac is also OS X based on BSD, Berkeley software distribution, which is similar to Solaris based on BSD. They are Unix based, and Linux, we have like Linux Mint, Linux Ubuntu, Linux Fedora, Linux Red Hat, Linux Rocky, Linux CentOS. Rocky replaced the CentOS version that went end of life. CentOS stands for Community Enterprise Operating System, and Rocky is still free. Fedora is free, so Red Hat is not. Red Hat used to be free, but after IBM bought it, the code is not open to the public domain for every developers to just get it. Unless you're a subscriber or just paying customer, you don't no longer have the code available to you for Red Hat. So for every version of Linux, whether it's Fedora or Rocky, all of the open source community has access to it, including the GNU utility shells and apps. The shells are also like Bourne shell, Corn shell, Bash scripting, ZSH, and then C shell, through C shell, SSH, secure shell. All of those ones are shell that are supported on all version of Fedora, Linux, Mint, Linux Ubuntu, Linux SUSE, OpenSUSE. Shells are supported on Unix as well as Mac. Mac is again Unix, so shell are supported on Solaris, on Mac OS X, BSD, Darwin. It is supported on same shells that I just mentioned: the C shell, through C shell, Bash, Bourne shell, Bourne again shell, Bash, Corn shell, and ZSH. At the same time, there are also apps and software that you could just run, whether it's a web server or whether you are running Apache web server, or maybe some kind of apps to do certain things on the internet, web services or database services or application services. There's a number of software available, and then mostly if you got it working on Red Hat or CentOS or Rocky, the Fedora version has also the RPMs or packages that you can get the Red Hat package management and run the application, or use DNF to install it from repository. And I'm going to demo some of these ones as well. And then the GNU utility, obviously, we have GAwk, GNU awk for writing awkward scripting, which is very good. Brian Carnegie is still working on the systems. There's other developers that used to build like SED and ED and other ones on Unix. Originally, when AT&T version of Linux, AT&T version of Unix was built on 1969, 1970 by Dennis Ritchie and Ken Thompson. God bless Dennis Ritchie, was a C programmer that he built the entire Unix operating system at AT&T Bell Laboratory with Ken Thompson. And Ken Thompson is still developing on Go language. He's a co-founder of Go language. So for Fedora, we have also a Rocky version that and there's a great number of developers are working on Rocky as well. I mentioned on my previous videos, but I'm gonna just talk about Fedora on this one. So Fedora, when you get into the system, you can run the cat command, for example, etc fedora-release is a file that you just say concatenate the content of that file, and it will tell you the release version of it. If you're on Solaris machine, the etc release file will tell you the information. If you're on a Red Hat machine, it is etc Red Hat dash release. And if you're on a Rocky version, etc Rocky dash release. And similarly for CentOS, etc CentOS dash release. But on all the OS that I mentioned, either there's a etc release file or OS dash release file. And then the Fedora dash release in this case is just giving you one line, but etc OS release will give you a lot more details of the information about the Fedora and the distribution, the version, who built it, and what is their URL, and all that detail. I'll show you later. uname-r shows you the revision or the kernel build. In this case, it's the FC code 39. And as you can see, it's on an x86 64 platform, but the kernel build is 6.5.6-300. The kernel build is very new compared to the previous version, which were kernel build of 4, and then 6.5 is much newer. And obviously, there's a sub-release 300. That is the minor number. The major number is 6.5.6. So we're going to discuss about a lot about those ones, but at the same time, this is MyWebUniversity, my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to it, please subscribe. And if you want to join to support me further, I would really appreciate that one, as well as if you just make some comments. What is your needs for school, for your jobs, or anything related to the topics of computer science related courses, or computer science topics that you want me to discuss, or just have question on a given YouTube video that I posted already. I would really appreciate if you make a nice comment saying this is what I need, and maybe if you could help me out on this one, because my job is not to just make these videos and say, well, I didn't serve any purpose. I want to help in the community, and I want to help you, whether you're going to school or college or maybe a job. I went through that one 30 years ago. So a lot of the experience that I got through professional degree from computer science, having a Bachelor of Science and a Master of Science, and teaching at the universities in United States, part-time, I taught at least 8 years of computer science related courses, whether it was C, C++, Oracle database, Windows NT, Visual Basic, MySQL, programming, C, and then compilers, database, Python, Unix, Bash scripting, a number of those courses. Just for Python, I taught at Pasadena City College at least 5 semesters of 5 different subjects, 5 different courses, different sessions at different time. So for C++, I taught a course. For Unix Bash scripting, I taught a course. So a lot of those courses, I'm just also making videos for you to help you out with the website that I'm just thanking you for it. If you go to the website, on the main website, you can see I have about 1.2K of videos that you can watch and enjoy and learn, start learning, and you have a subject for everything. Just this one, for example, over 32,000 PDF files that I generated, because a lot of my students at Pasadena City College, they said, Wahid, I like to just be able to get a PDF version. It's only $7, it's free, rather than paying $50 for the textbook. I cannot afford it. And I feel the pain that I had the same situation when I was going through college. And then sometimes I feel like, okay, at the time I couldn't afford it. I had to sit down in the library and start, reading the book, or just copy the portion of the book that was maybe 10 cents per page to just save the money in order to not be able to pay it. But I still had to finish the homework and all the assignment. So I made these videos, and I made those, the video that I showed you. Just for this one, I wrote a Python program that wrote the entire Linux manual pages in PDF format, 32,000 files, it's available for you. So, for example, on this one, if you go to MyWebUniversity, this is my website. I have been building it since 2020. It's the entire thing is like I wrote this book. The entire book is available. Sorry, let me close this one. So the entire book is available for you online. Let me just make this one a little bit bigger. And then, so this one was an honor listee for Who's Who, and that I was interviewed back in November of last year, and I was nominated. This is like a really kind of like honor to be a member of that honorary list since 1898. They interview people that are making changes to other people's life, and I'm very pleased that I made that kind of stuff. And then somebody nominated me, and then they interviewed me, and I was selected as one of the nominee. The detail is on when people log in on this one, or the Library of Commerce, or some big companies, when they look for recruiters, they are getting on list of these people. Usually these people have made a lot of kind of work there, and then they get recommended there. So the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, this book is about 11 chapters, or 13 chapters actually. I have lately updated it there. So for each one of them, for example, if I want to just see the Linux Ubuntu manual pages in PDF format, you can just click on it and just get a list of all the 6,000 or 7,000 PDF files here. So let me make it a little bit smaller, so you can see that for each one of them, I built it section by section. Section 1 through section 9, all of them were here. So there's about 6,500 just for this PDF file. So whichever one you click on, you just click on it, you will see the manual pages in a very nice format. You can start reading and understand it. So you don't have to buy a book. And then, like for example, if I do Control F and I say, let me see the GCC. So if there's GCC right here, 11 of 38 of them, you can see that it's there. So you can search for the one that you're interested, and then say, okay, I need to look for the GCC dot some version that you're looking for. Whatever one version you're looking for, like here, GCC 9.1 PDF, that it will just open up for you. And this one is really huge, 332 pages. But notice, I provide you everything on my web server for free. All you have to do is just come online and start learning. All you need is a browser. You don't need to install Linux. You don't need to, get all these man pages in a text format or anything. You just start learning it. Similarly, if you're looking for dynamic, that you could run the command here and you get the output here. So if I say, give me the command for calendar, for example, cal would be calendar. You just click on it here and you get the calendar command here. And here's the output. So there's a lot of nice stuff on this website. I don't want to go too much details on the web, on the MyWebUniversity stuff that's available, but you're welcome to watch these videos. From each one of them, you will learn a lot. And then some of them are like, this one is full course on Red Hat from zero to hero. It's about 4 hours a video. And if I just make this screen a little bit bigger, and that way you could see it better. And so notice this one is saying, let me just go find it again. Right here. Linux Red Hat Enterprise Linux from zero to hero. A lot of people made nice comments about this one, including sysadministrator and other ones, because I have done a lot of senior level training for the administrator at my work, whether I was previous companies or at teaching or at NASA or Jet Propulsion Laboratory, where I've been working in the past 21 years. I have done a lot of training and a lot of mentoring to the highest level. So there's a lot of technical documentation behind each one of these ones, and I want you to make sure that you could watch them and enjoy them and learn from them and help other people in your community when you become really kind of an expert level or maybe subject matter expert. None of us know everything at one point, but all these documentation that I was just pointing to you, you could read it. I have read a lot of them, honestly. I have read it through the 30 years of my life, in addition to college degrees and everything, and doing it with work and everything. Then I designed it. I built this website. The entire website, when I built it using Python, Perl, shell scripting, CGI, HTML, Java scripting, everything to just make these ones. So if you go on this one, for example, let's say on the chapter 4, if you look at my chapter 4 of the book, I'm teaching advanced level Linux command online. So you could come in and just get a table like this. There's about 88 commands of the Linux or Linux Ubuntu in this case. For each one of them you click, I show you the details on it for whatever command it is. Like for example, if you click on that process stream 3, PS3 is called the command, and it says display a tree of processes. So how does that work? Like for example, PS3 one is the system D process. In this case, previous to system D, we were running system 5 release 4, and that would be init was the daemon that was owning the process ID number 1. But now it's system D. So if you click on this one, I will give you output of the process history on process ID 1, and which is system D. All these other child processes that are forked, or you can see that are coming up one by one, and then the other children process that are forked there. It's a tree process of that one. On Solaris, if you run this process 3 command, and this is P3 rather than process stream. On Linux, they just added the word S for stream. In Solaris, it's just P3. And similarly, PMAP, PStack, PWDX, all of those ones are part of proc file system. And then we will talk about some file system. What is nice about proc file system is that it is pseudo-based, memory-based. It is not something that it's a physical. It's a virtual file system. So PS3 $$, the process $$ point to the current shell. So in this case, the shell that I was running, it's made a fork to the PS3 command. Similarly, if you just come in here and say, give me a manual page for PS3 command, you could just say, okay, I found out that what is, I got an example, now I want to read more. You are welcome to come in here and start learning more on the PS3 command. But if you say, well, this is great, what about other command that are proc file system? Can I get a pmap command? Yeah, just type in here pmap. Let me just do a pmap. And then it's right here is pmap. So any process that you type in, and you get the output of it there. If you type in, give me a PWDX, you will get the PWDX. Similarly, pstop, it would be a pstop. If it is not there, pwait, let's say whatever process is not there, the command is not going to show there. But pmap is there, grep, process grep is there, so it will just give you the process grep there. grep stand for process grep. Grep is global regular expression print, is one of the GNU utilities. There's another one called egrep, which is stand for extended grep. So you can see that grep is there, and then egrep is also part of the process expression or extended grep. So you can put more than one string to extend the grep command. Similarly, like if you're looking for man page on awk, for awk, you can see that awk and gawk. This is also GNU awk stuff there. So a lot of stuff just going visiting the website, you are having all these resources online for you available. There's a lot, thousands of files in directory, honestly, and then you could learn on years, and then you still have resources available for you and there that you could just non-install. So for each one of them, you are welcome to practice it and learn it, and then do that one. But coming back to in this presentation, I mentioned that the table of contents that we're going to do table of contents installation and system updates. So to do that one, if I just go a slideshow from this current one, and we just say, what is the table of contents? The first one is installation and system update. So on the installation, I'm going to show you the way that you can get the ISO image for the Fedora 39, which is fedoraproject.org. And then once you get the download image, then you just use the virtual machine or your machine, like a standalone server, whatever, your workstation or something, you can install it. The difference between a workstation and a server is that the software you download. If you install the client versions of it, it's a workstation. But if you install the daemons that run as a background jobs, whether it's a MySQL database, or maybe it's a Apache web server, maybe it's a secure shell, SSHD, or any other daemons, then you make it a server that is listening to a port and serving a client. That is why it is the difference between a client and a server. But I'm going to show you how to install it. And then once you are looking at that one, I have already have another video. It's an hour long. The reason it is 1 hour long is just usually the installation is going to just give you a few steps. Everybody can just walk in through it. The details of that installation is just give you a lot more. That's why it's a little bit more. And then I'm also, I might have also done a system update on that one. So I'm going to just skip some part of the installation, but I'll point out how to do the installation and how to do system update. And then we have a running Fedora 39 already available for me. But let's get to the projects directory where I downloaded and everything, so you know exactly what's going on. Then from this part, I'm going to jump into the actual Fedora 39, and I'm going to show you the graphical user interface, followed by the command line interface, and followed by everything else. So let me just get out of here right now and come up to this project. So this one is fedoraproject.org. And as you can see on my website, if you look at the main page here on this page, I have already have that video of Fedora 39 installation. So I say Fedora workstation desktop, right? So this one is about an hour, 8 minutes long, and this is the video that you need for installation. But in order to get the ISO image, you come into fedoraproject.org, and then you look at this latest release, which is version 39, and then right here it tells you all the details of where to download it and everything. So if you just are coming to the Fedora 39 latest release, then you just come in and find out the download directory, which is somewhere here. Let me see, it's hiding a little bit. So I could go back here on the search. Let me just see. Release 39. Yeah, workstation right here, Fedora. It doesn't say the word download, but it says download now here. So if I click on this one, download now, it's gonna go to the download page. Then you have to find out the ISO image for your platform. So on mine, I want a Fedora to run on the Windows host operating system, and then I want to get a live ISO image. So when you download it, you get the ISO image, and then the ISO image, you can run it off of the ISO image live, or you could just install it on the hard disk. And on that video that I mentioned here, I show you how to click on the actual installation part of it. from the configuration, and then you install it. So this is the directory. When you click on the download page, under the download, this is Fedora Workstation Linux x86. It will just, this one will be downloaded for you. You can see it's about 2 gig file, 1.98 gig in size, as you can see. You can also right click in here and look at properties on Windows, and you can get all the details of that information, or go to the command line and then get it. So on the what is important is, like, you type in about your PC. This one, from the graphical interface, you can see this is a 64-bit operating system, and this is right here, 64-bit operating system. So when we download, we want to download the 64-bit operating system, the name of the operating system, and I have 32 gig. Also, you can come in on the command line on Windows and say, run the system info, and then 5 more, and then that information will just show you exactly that this is the name of the host name is operating system. The host operating system in this case is the name of the host is algorithm, and then the host operating system is Microsoft Windows 11 Professional, and this is the build version, and then obviously, and the name of the vendor that the manufacturer of my mini computer is Geek OM, which is very nice system. I think I have made a video on it, and this Intel processor with 8 cores i7, and then it is 64-bit, as you can see here, and then the processor is showing all the details here, and then 32 gig of memory. You can get all that information from the system, and this hypervisor is set up. So we can also, like, for example, like here, you could run the system info and then say find/i, and then say model. Whatever information you're looking, you can do a find. Find is similar to grep. Find a string is similar to egrep on the Linux. So if you say memory, you can get the memory information. You can see here that is was Intel 64 and 3.4 gigahertz, and then name of that processor is model is Mini IT11 generation. 32 gigabyte of memory, 24 gig is left, and you can right click here also on the task manager and look at performance for your memory. You can see that it's about 24 gigas left. So whenever you look at the performance, whether you want to look at the CPU or memory or disk, because this is Windows 11 operating system, you can just open Task Manager and look at the performance. But since my system is good with all the 24 gig that I have here and the processor, everything, if I look at the processor, for example, I could say Device Manager here. On the Device Manager, there's a GUI interface. You could get like the monitor information and processor. So if I double click on the processor, you can see that it is 11 generation i7 with 3.4 gigahertz, but there are 8 of these cores, altogether 8 of them. So the system is pretty good, stable. I can start doing the work. So let me just exit out of this one, and we close this one, and this also can be closed. So when coming back to the operating system, since we already found out the ISO image, the one that you want to do is run VirtualBox. This is the software that allows you to do virtualization. Oracle Virtual Machine VirtualBox is the software that I'm going to click here. And if I go help about, this is saying or a VirtualBox 7.0. So originally VirtualBox was one of the open source kind of software, another company, but then Sun Microsystem bought it, and then Sun Microsystem was bought by Oracle. Oracle owns MySQL as well as VirtualBox. MySQL was also was at one point when Sun Microsystem bought MySQL. Sun Microsystem was running Solaris operating system on a Spark architecture as well as x86. And then Sun Microsystem in 2011 was acquired by an Oracle database company, and then Oracle became Oracle Sun, and then eventually call it Oracle Solaris or Oracle Virtual Machine, like for VirtualBox software, and then for Oracle database is Oracle. For Oracle MySQL is Oracle MySQL. So it is great software. It is available for you to do it. On the Windows side, you also have VMware software. For VMware software, usually you can install Fedora and other Linux servers as well. But I choose to use Oracle VirtualBox because it is the same as the other one. Both of them are very user-friendly and very helpful. However, you can only use one of them at one point. You don't need to install all of them if they both do the same thing. Why would you do that one? However, for the support of VirtualBox and for support of virtual machine on VMware also, you have to pay if you want to have a subscription to pay for it. For development, it's free. So all of these versions are free to install it. So I have a lot of Linux algorithm. This is Red Hat. For Red Hat also, I have that Red Hat 9 video that is 4 hours long, and I just showed you that one. That one is actually, you can have subscription through Red Hat for development or for corporation. For corporation, you have to pay it, and for development, it's free. So you can have the development, and I have a development, as well as for my work, I have corporation. So subscription is not free. For corporation, you have to subscribe every year, pay for it in order to get support whenever there's software support needed. But development, I do all the work myself. I don't need, the systems, modules and updates and packages. Everything is so robust on all of these systems. If you have worked on the systems, you're much better off doing the development yourself and save some money, some cost. So algorithm is another one that I have. This one, Linux Mint, and Linux Rocky is another version. That is, I told you earlier about the Rocky versus Red Hat, the open source community. Gregory is a great guy. I am his friend also on LinkedIn and some other Rocky kind of groups. And then he actually named Rocky Linux after the other co-founder of CentOS. There were two founders of CentOS that they were developing. One of them was Gregory, and the other one was Rocky. Rocky is no longer with us. God bless him if he passed away. I'm not sure what's the reason why he's not with Rocky anymore, but I think he passed away. God bless him, and then they named it after him. As a co-founder, his friend passed it, named it after him. So MyWebUniversity is my development machine for MyWebUniversity production. This is Linux Ubuntu. Then I have Rocky 9, Rocky 9.2, Solaris operating system, Sun Solaris, this is 11.4. And then Ubuntu 23. This is the latest version of 23.10. And then the previous version was 22.4.03. They're both long-term support, LTS they call it, and my Ubuntu, and then Fedora 39. So Fedora 39 is the one that I'm going to start. And then before I start this one, if you have to do the installation yourself, you click on new here, you just give the name of the OS, say, for example, Fedora, let's say 39 workstation. Whatever name you gave it, you can just say the W for workstation, sure. And then right here is that the directory where the folder is getting created. This is the image where you have to select the workstation ISO image, Fedora, that I downloaded. And then the rest of the information is all here. You just click on next, and then you allocate the memory. Let's say I go allocate out of the base memory, I go, let's say 8 gig or something, 16 gig. I don't have to go through that one, but depend on, like I had 24 gig left, I can just say maybe do 8 gig. And then here, the processor, I'm gonna give 4 processor. Then I click next here, and then here, the disk size by default is given 15 gig. I could just go larger or smaller, but don't go smaller than 15 gig because they are assuming you're doing something with the system. So let's say I go 30 gig, and then I go here and I go next. Now this is the system that is there, that all the information, the setting is going to show as a summary. Then I could click on finish, and then it will be available for me. So all I have to do is to start it. The ISO image will start and then do it. I don't want to do that one because I already have a running one. So this is for you, just so you learn it, how to install it. Once you click on finish, then obviously it will come with that one. Then you click on start, and it will just boot it from the ISO image, and it's gonna bring it up. And then after everything is installed, then it's gonna select that, say, when you get out, you say, do you want to install it or you don't want to install it? If you want to install it, I showed you on the other video, there's a button there that you have to say, install it on the hard disk, to make sure that you don't miss that one before you close it. So that's what's important there. And then once you select it, now I have done that, this version, I'm going to just start this one. When you click on the start, this Fedora workstation virtual machine is powering up right here, as you can see on the alert. It's gonna notify me what's happening currently. This is a mouse integration is happening, auto capture is happening. So if I just don't want to see this information on the right side, I want to see the whole screen one time, and then I just click on those X's, and I just look at the GUI. In a few seconds or less than a minute, it's gonna boot off that a hard disk that I have already done. And if for any reason it hangs on this one, then I have to just stop it and restart it again. Sometimes Fedora 39 has done that one in the past. If you just wait forever on this one, it might not just come up. So like right now, it is taking much longer than it's supposed to. I'm gonna power it off. And then when you do power off, notice it power off, but watch how fast this time, the second time, it's gonna come with that one. So I'm gonna close this one again. Notice this time it came out with the detail of the menu. We're getting an emergency alert for the flash flood warning. Today is raining very heavily, and a lot of the emails and everything just came out to be cautioned because of the rain in Southern California tonight, all night. So at this time, I'm going to just log in. As you can see here, it is coming for Fedora login page. So I'm going to just say, click on this one. My username is Wahid. I'm going to type in my password. So the installation, when it is completed, after the installation is completed, it's going to prompt you for some screening information, saying that go ahead for the last setup. Unfortunately, with Fedora, there is some sort of kind of flickering is happening here. And I read it on the discussion on the forum that people mentioned that I had it too, And some of the people suggested that you should reboot it when it comes out to that flickering. A reboot is only temporary fix, just to let you know. Whenever this type of activity happening, obviously it's a workstation, so it's not a server and it's not running on a production machine. It's a client, you can reboot it whenever you want to, or you could just temporarily find out what it is which devices. Maybe somebody says my NVIDIA driver was doing it. Notice that it just came out like that. So a reboot, even if you do it, it may just refresh the memory once the contents of memory loaded, but it's not gonna clean up the issue. The module that it is there, you just have to figure out which module it is there, and then the developer of the Fedora has to also make sure that it is the module when it's loaded, or the system that gets updated with that module doesn't interfere with this display. I have a number of Linux virtual machine and a number of Linux Ubuntu. I have not experienced this flickering. So the reboot is a temporary fix. Don't waste your time on this one, because sometimes on a new version they might find a bug and they correct it. You can report it to them. Look at this, it just come out again and again. So it is kind of not good when I'm making videos, so you will not see anything there. So I'm gonna just try to make the video, and then hoping that it is not gonna flicker all the time. So let's just go with the option here. I'm gonna click here on the activity here, and then when you click on the activity, you have software list here available. So I'm gonna click on the terminal, and then by clicking on the terminal, it is happening more often than it should be. So I'm gonna do just shut down -H now, and then I'll reboot it again, and just to do it. But again, I said reboot is not going to fix the flickering problem. But since we're making a video for you to learn from zero to hero all these issues, I'm not gonna just hide it to say, oh, we never saw that one. Where did you see that one? We want to just make sure that if you're seeing that issue, maybe Fedora is working already on a solution for it, and then hopefully they will release a patch for it, and then we can apply the patch here. So let's just get to log in again. Okay, so the system is ready for me to use here. I'm going to click on the terminal, and notice so far we have not heard any flickering. I'm going to become root here. Sudo su dash is going to just allow me to log in as switch user do. Somebody says that the command stands for super user do. No, it's not. SU stand for switch user. So whether you do SU to Wahid or SU, sorry, clear screen, SU dash Wahid, or becoming this user that you are, depend on what you want to do. That is not sudo. Sudo itself, it says just switch user do, and then SU dash, it says that, okay, log in as somebody else. So if I'm just right here and I say my ID is Wahid, and then ID dash UN, it says that I'm Wahid with the username as Wahid. So if I say get end password and then Wahid, it will just tell me that information. At the same time, instead of this one, I could say sub expression, say ID-UN $, that's same command. Or you could do a backtick here, ID-UN, that's also same command. So 3 ways you can get the same output for those ones. But notice that when I do the ID-group name, is gonna say also group name is Wahid. But now if I do switch user dash, and then I dash, this means switch user and then dash, I could type in root, switch user as root, or I could type in as another user like developer one or something, dev one, whichever user. So I'm going to become root first. So in order to become root, I have to be on the wheel group or part of the etc sudo files. So when I type in, when I type in groups, I will see that I'm part of the wheel group. that means that I can do a switch user do or sudo su dash. That means I can dash is meaning that change my profile. Since I already switch user and I provided the password for user Wahid, now I was able to successfully do it because it was cached. So that this slash, I mean dash means that change the profile to root. So now if I just look at the $ PS1, my profile is also changed based on the root here. So if I say get end ID root, you will see, sorry, get end password and then root, you could see that it is super user there. But at the same time, I could do this one $, ID-UN. That one also shows me that I am logged on as super user there. Or I could do the backtick, and then ID-UN. But notice that if I do this one and instead of this one, I give another user that get the information for that user, which is in this case Wahid. So if I want to just do something here with the get end to just prove it to you that now this one ID-UN, I'm root right here. But notice if I say switch user dash Wahid, somebody says, oh, do a super user. No, it's not super user. Please don't say that one because it's inaccurate. And switch user stands for switch user, not super user. Because you could become with this user any other user, but you can become root or any other user. So sudo is also switch user do. So here you can see that now I'm becoming Wahid. And then if I just exit out, I'm back as root. Similarly, if I just say sudo su dash Wahid, and now I changed to Wahid. So this one is not super user do, but it is switch user do. I hope that's clear to you. As you can see from this example, I say switch user do. I was root already, and then I did it. If I was another user, and then I would run this command, that doesn't guarantee that I'm running as super user. So if I just have a user that's not part of the wheel group and I say sudo su dash and then xyz, that user is not part of the group. It's not going to work. First of all, the xyz has to be an account, or dev1 has to be an account. And then secondly, it has to be part of the group. So let's just, for the sake of clarity, I'm going to say user add dev1. So now I just created a dev1 on the etc password, etc shadow, and etc group file. So there's entry for them, as you can see. Now if I just say switch user do or switch user dev1, I become dev1. So ID-UN, you can see I'm dev1 here. So at this time, if I say groups, notice I'm not part of the wheel. So if I just say sudo su dash, that is not saying that become a root super user do. It is saying switch user do this command, which is stand for switch user dash, meaning that become root. As this time says, are you part of the wheel group? And then if it is not part of the wheel group, the password does not have anything, so it's gonna fail. Let's just assign a temporary password first. Then I'm gonna just say pass wd dev1, and then it is not allowing me because I have to be root first. So exit out of this one. Now say password dev1. Then at this time I could assign a password. So let's say I just make a password there, very bad password short, notice that it's not allowing me to use it. It actually created a, even though it says it's lower than 8 characters, which is not good, then it is still allowed it to assign to that password. So now I want to just show you 2 more things before we are out of this session. So switch user and dash at dev1. Now I'm dev1, and then I say sudo su dash, and then I run the command, let's say Tmux or something. So it's going to prompt me for the password, and then it says, well, the one is not in the sudo files. Because it's not part of the wheel group, it is not going to allow it there. So in order for me to do it, let's just create a stronger password. First, I'm going to say password dev1, and I'm going to just give it a stronger password so it does not say a bad password. And then so at this time, it just did the password successfully. And then grep minus I dev1 etc shadow. So this entry will just show me the entry on the password file. And then I'm going to just not do that one. I'm going to assign a different password. So the password dev1 is going to be, again, I'm going to give it a password. Is to simplicity. Okay, so it is that one was not taken. I'm gonna try to give us a password that is harder to remember. And then this time, the password has to be a combination of uppercase, lowercase, alphanumeric, and everything. So now that password is there. So if I clear my screen and say grep minus I dev1 etc shadow, notice that entry is really long, but notice this time stamp of that one is actually that is going to say that in maybe 90 days it's going to expire. So what I could do is run this command and then at the same time say password minus x 1 and then dev1. This command says that take the adjust the data for the dev1 so the password does not expire. If you don't log into this machine for a while, then you want to make sure that it doesn't lock up on you. So that's how that one is. But at this time, I'm going to be done with the demo for the sudo. So I want to just do one more things, add the dev1 into the wheel group. So you could do a vi sudo here, and then just come up on the part where it says look for root here, root here, and then you just search for it and you just add the line for root to allow it. But I want to just do another way. Control, no, sorry. And since Vim was not there, it dropped me to a nano. So I'm gonna do Control X, exit out, and then I want to just say save modification, no, and then I'm going to install Vim here. So whenever you use which Vim is not installed, it will not work for you. Which VI is not VI is there, but echo and $ editor is set to nano. So whenever you run VI, it is going to just run that one. In order to just run VI, you could say export editor is equal VI. And instead of nano, you could say VI. Now I run the same command with the VI sudo, then this time it's opening VI here. And then I search for root here, sorry, root in lowercase. And then you can see here this. I could copy this one and just change this one to dev1 and then dev1. Let me just make this one dev1. And then I could just be part of the sudoers there. Another way you could do is that you could just vim on etc group file. Vim is not installed, so vi etc group, and then just look for wheel group. And then right here where Wahid is there, colon, and you could just say dev1. So that would be a shorter version of this. So now if I say switch user dev1, clear screen, now ID groups, you can see that if I type in groups, it is dev1, but let's see, a new group, wheel. And then it's gonna prompt me for the password. I type in the password. Okay, so I'm going to do it the other way around, vim, vi sudo, and then look for root. And then right here, sometimes the vi sudo should have taken place there. So dev1, I'm going to try this one and then clear screen, sudo switch user dash dev1. Now ID and groups is still there, but let's see if vi sudo took effect. So I'm going to say vi sudo permission denied, if this is good. Vi sudo search for dev1. Yes, update is there. But so the fact that I could not do a vi sudo, let's do this one with dev1. We just see if sudo, let's say switch user to dash to dev1 first. Clear the screen here, and then sudo dash, and then it's gonna prompt me for the password of the user. I think I typed the password inaccurate, so let me just try the password that sometimes when you create the password fast and then keyboard combination, it might be off. So let's try it one more time. Yeah, so that was just the password. Now clear screen and it is there. I become root. So this is how if I just say ID-UN and then sudo su dash, now I'm already root ID-UN. Okay, so the reason it is there because the groups is dev1, but I'm part of this file. So if I say sudo vi sudo, then it will open it for me because now I'm part of that group. Again, notice that nano, the editorial is nano, so you have to be kind of like depend on which one you prefer. I don't like to do it the basic stuff. I do a lot more in coding, so at least I use either Vim or Emacs. So here, if you go Control X here, and then clear the screen, and then say, okay, I am there. Let's just say clear screen and say sudo su dash dev1. Now dev1 is there, but notice equal $ editor is equal nano. It is not set. Editor is editor. Make sure edit. Editor. Okay, it is nano. Somewhere on the top, I might have typed it inaccurately. Yeah, I did. Okay, so editor with editor. So if you correct that one, and right here you say, so my shell is bash, so that means I say export editor is equal and then vi. Now if I say sudo sudo and then say sudo vi, meaning that run the sudo vi command with a sudo command. because I'm logged on as dev1 here. And then my group is okay, my group said okay, but I need to just do sudo vi sudo. Before it was opening nano, now it's opening the password. If I type in the password correctly this time on the first try, then it's going to open that one. But it opened it on nano. So Control X again and say echo $editor. Editor is VI, which VI it is not reading it. So let's see, export editor is equal user then VI, and then we say sudo sudo and then sudo vi, sorry, sudo vi sudo. Okay, still opening it on that one. So there's a couple of other variable, echo $term. It has to be to VT100. We could do export term is equal VT100, and then export. The next one that's important is visual. Visual. If I just say echo $visual, that one is not set to anything, so it shouldn't make any difference. Export visual is equal VI also, and equal $editor is VI, and then them or VI, let's say etc VI test. Okay, VI is VI lowercase, sorry, my keyboard, VI test one.txt, and it opens it, then VI. So why the sudo is not looking at that one? By default, I think that inside the VI sudo itself is not there. So in this case, you have to do switch user first as root, and then type in the password of this user. Now, oh, sorry, I have to do -dev1. So now you type in that password of that user, and then I become that user, but because I changed the switch user I could do sudo su dash, and now I'm root here. So vi sudo will just open none. So now I can do Control Z, clear screen, echo $editor, $editor, and then I'm going to say export editor is equal vim or vi, and then now run the same command with vi sudo, and it will open the vi. And you can see this is not nano, it is vi. So we fixed that one, but let me just add some software here. So since we are on this user, if I just go back here and say ID-UN, this is originally, I did this one, I'm going to exit out of that one. Now ID-UN. So if I just don't need that dev1 information, I could just say del user, and then like add user and del user, right? So which add user was there, which del user is there. User del, not add user, which user del. So some of those one like user mode would be for modification. User add is add user. The user add was there, which user add. So they all start with user or group, and then add, remove, del or user mod or user add or user Del, similarly, group add, group mode. And then you're welcome to read my book on the chapter that I mentioned here. And so right here, if you go on the chapter 4, for example, on chapter 4, the whole user add, user del, user mode, user group, and then group add, group mode, group stuff, all of them, including users, are there. So if you want to just do a like user del, this is all examples I'm showing you here, all of them, one by one, and then you can do that one. And then similarly for user add or group stuff, you can do that too. So if I want to just delete that user, dev one, I don't need it. I could say user del and then dev one. So notice dev one is gone, but now if I say grep minus I dev one, etc password, etc shadow, etc shadow, etc group, make sure that there's no entry. But etc group, because I added manually, that dev one is there. We want to make sure we did not add it with the command group add or something onto that one. So since we did it manually, that one has to be cleaned up. But before I clean it up with the vim, let me just say, if I say which vim vi improve, it's not installed. So now I'm saying, give me a list of all the packages that are there. For every file as a system that you're working on, you have a package manager. So yum, which is stand for Yellow Dog Update Manager, is pointing to DNF-3. So if I say which yum, or what is yum, is going to give me a Yellow Dog Update Manager that is currently pointing to DNF-3. So what is DNF? And DNF is also a command interface that is an upgrade version of yum. Everything that you can do with yum, you can also do it with DNF. But both yum and DNF are actually symbolic link to DNF-3. So even though it says this is not there, but if I say which, that's actually a symbol, Python script. So file user pen and DNF-3, it is just showing you a Python script, and it's about 62 lines. So if you do a word count minus L, it's 62 lines. You can look at the content of it by line number by saying cat minus N. It's basically symbolic, the pack modules, OS modules, all of those ones for within Python script, and Python 3 is used here. So if I look at which yum, Yellow Dog Update Manager, file user ben yum, I told you that this is symbolic link to DNF-3. Similarly, the DNF also symbolic link to DNF-3. But the actual DNF-3 is a Python script that I just showed you. So whether you type in yum or DNF would work for you, because the version of the OS here, OS-release is Fedora, Linux 39, and then all of the details are here. You could also do a shorter version of this one rather than OS-release. You could say Fedora-release, and you could see this one. Let me make this screen a little bit bigger, so it is much easier to read. Now, if I just say uname-r, the release that I was telling you that the kernel build is this, and now you can see, even though on the actual video that I showed you, this version is 6.6.14. The other one was 6.6.5. So when I did the update of the system, it moved out from that version. So there's a command called DNF or yum, whether you want to use yum, and then you can get repo list, show all the repository list of repository that's available for you for downloading packages or VMs and everything and installing them. Or you could say DNF repo list The commands are similar. So you can get this one. I rather than using yum, I would use DNF because we're on the later version of it, and we want to just make sure at some point when they Red Hat or Rocky or Fedora decide to end of life the yum and no longer symbolic link, that DNF-3 is actually a Python program that works. So I'd rather use this. DNF-ls give you all the packages are on the system. So the list of packages that are on the system could be hundreds and thousands. It is just as many packages that you have. You see that there's a list of them here. And if you go word count on them, you will just know exactly about maybe 74,000 packages that are there. Similarly, if I say yum less and then word count on it, that's very close to 74,000, but it's not. Yeah, it is exact number. So both of them is good. Our PM is going to be, on the other hand, is not the same amount. So RPM minus query all, QA means query all, and then you say word count minus L, this will just do a 1948. If you want to get all of the packages listing, it's there. So if you do RPM minus QA and say grep minus I open SSH or open SSL, sorry, RPM minus QA grep minus I open SSH, let's say, you will see the list of open SSH there. Similarly, if I say SSL, and there. And then you can also use these commands as you do open SSL, for example. You can say, well, what if I just want to only get the one that is open SSL -lab or something here? So you can get the RPM minus QA and then just give the name of the package -lab, lab and then start, or that would just give you exactly the one that you want. And if you wanted to do query and length, query and the long listing, then you could say, since this package is not giving the name here, I want to just do this command rather than an asterisk. I want to do this, and so query lab, and then let's do this one, and then say grep minus I open SSL. Now I have that one. Then I can make a RPM minus QL, and then just backtick this one. That output is going to run it, and then now I get a list of them with that command. So if I want to get only to see what is on the bin directory, just the list of any of them, and that does not have anything, but let's say open SSH. And then you can see that open SSH, it has secure copy, secure FTP, SSH keygen, SSH add. Watch my secure shell video. I talk about all of this there, including the secure shell daemon. So and that is very easy to just get that information here. You can also pass on this one within a subshell command, like $, and this, and then and this. So you can do that one also. It will do the same thing. But at the same time, if you just say for all the packages that are there, let me just show you one other trick right here. So if you just run this command, this is just basically showing all the open SSH commands here. If I just say is a VI there, VI, there's so much on this, right? But Vim is not there yet. So actually Vim is there. So which Vim, it is not showing on the binary. So I'm going to say DNF install Vim. This will just install Vim, and then I say, yeah, you like to get the Vim package installed. So I could have said DNF install -y for don't prompt me, but it did prompt me because I didn't provide the -y. So now this is already there. So if I just do the -y again, it's gonna say this requirement is already met. Dependency is resolved, which means that which vim, you can see that it's the binary there. vi file user ben vim, it will tell you that it's open. Sorry, user, I mistyped it. User is there and it's executable link format 64-bit. So if I just want to get detail of that one, say show me LDD on it, you can see the dynamic link library that are attached to this binary and all the shared object files that the .so files are there. libmat.so.6 and so on. Virtual dynamic shared object. This is all these things are in detail. I discussed on the advanced classes a lot of these modules also. And there, similarly, you can do like a pmap of this file, PLDD for process LDD, or but process LDD. So I have to run the command in order to get to output of it. Like for example, PLDD of process 1. You can see process stream 3. I mean process LDD 5 more. That is the system D. Process 1, and then all the shared object that are attached, left 64-bit with this shared object file, Fedora code 39. You can see all of those ones, core, left system D cores. And so on this one, you can also do like a pmap, process map, pmap, because system D is process is running. Earlier, I showed you on my Linux server to get a detail of it. So if I do PWDX1, that it shows where system D is running. So PS3 processes stream 3. And then if I just clear my screen and then run this one with more, notice the system D and all the other ones. On my web server, I showed you this one. So you don't have to be sitting in front of a Linux machine. You can use my web server, MyWebUniversity.com, and practice those ones. Man, PS3 will give you in this format, but I already provided the whole details in a very nice PDF format. And you don't have to be sitting in front of a Linux machine again. All you need to do is use your browser, have the desire to learn these commands, and start practicing everything that on your own. So Vim is installed now. If I want to just do something with Vim, obviously I could do that one using Vim there. But we were talking about the system update on this one. So now if I say DNF update, one of the command DNF-help will give you all the commands that you can run with DNF. Okay, so if I just do -5 more, all the related command, whether you want to do install or list or remove a package or get a list or do subscription enable or something, all of those packages that are there, those commands, subcommands are available for you. Similarly, like yum and help, and then 5 more, it will just give you all the options here. And then similarly for RPM, RPM minus QA and grep minus I. Sorry, not QA. Let me just do -help and then 5 more. You can see all the options or Red Hat Package Manager that are available for you for the installation. -I, -V for verbose, -H for hashing, and then uppercase U for update, and the -E for erase, and so on. So there's all of these options there. In addition, if you need any documentation, and there, obviously on my website, I have made more videos on all these topics, and sometimes I have videos, sometimes I have PDF files. You're welcome to just reference those ones for further understanding. So we did talk about RPM there, but now I'm going to do a DNF update. DNF update is just gonna check on my system, say, okay, there's 25 modules that needs to be updated. These are the 25 modules that are listed here. So I'm gonna say, go ahead, do the update. Notice the flickering, it was not there up to this point after the reboot. But if it does show up again, one of these modules could cause that flickering. But it is hard to just detect it while I'm making a video for you to just do it. The right way to do is that LSMod is going to show you all the modules that are installed on your system. LSMod and all that. Then I could just look at the module that is affected by it. For example, NVIDIA or something, I could do RM mod on that one and then see if the flickering goes away. So there's a number of troubleshooting technique you could use to identify the problem and the culprit. One other thing that you could do is that while you're doing the DNF update here, notice that it is running, and then this time all the dependencies are resolved, which means that there's no issue on the system. But at the same time, if I want to just open another terminal here and then make this size also bigger, and then I'm going to just say, okay, on this window, I could run a DNF update here, but it is going to, as soon as I run it, it's going to just say it is already updated, up to date. So it doesn't matter, it's not going to finish, it's not going to just finish. So I could still continue looking at the process. But there are processes that are running on the system that is like my bash script. So here, when I just log in, I did a sudo, and then this was my main bash, that 3164. So if I look at that bash scripting there, I say 3164, clear screen ps minus efa, grep minus I 3164. I could look at that process, and it is this bash that is spin off this process tree. So if I say pwdx of 3164, give me a process a working directory, print working directory of executable, it says that you started off that process from root. And if I say, give me a P3 of it, PS3, it will just say that the bash just run the command PS3 on it. So it is not any other command associated with it, but it is waiting and listening to a port. So there's a very nice command called strace. If I have installed strace already, you will have it, but by default, it doesn't come with it. Solaris has a trace command, and Linux has a strace, meaning a stream trace. You can trace a process. So instead of the PS3, I could do a strace on it. A strace, it will just say cannot find that process because that process may have been terminated. So now if I just do a pstep grep that one, it is there still, but the reason it didn't find it, because I need to type in -p for that process name. This one says strace -p process and then the process name. So it is doing a strace on the process, but notice it is waiting on a -1, meaning that because it's a bash, whatever I go till I exit out of the entire things, this process will just be waiting in indefinite. So every activity that's happening, it will go on this one. So this is not a good command because not too much activity is happening. I'm gonna stop this one. I'm gonna try running another command like top. So I run top on this one. Now, if I go here, say ps minus efa grep minus I top, you can see that top is running here. Top is running, and so at this time, if I just say, well, this is good running, but which one of this one is the process that is top running? So let's just do a grep minus v grep, meaning that don't show my own grep command. So this is the top command, is this process right here, 4762. So if I say pwdx 4762, you can see this spin out from home directory of Wahid, right? So what I want to do is that say, okay, I'll spawn off, but PS3 of that number 4762, and then you can see it is running the top command. Now, if I just say, well, this is that done, let me just kill it. Before I kill it, I want to do a trace on that process. Minus P4762. Notice that this time I get more information. Whatever activity on the top command that is running, it shows here. So if I make this screen a little bit bigger, you can see all the activities are happening on the top. As the changes are happening here with the CPU and then the threshold and shared memory, resident portion, virtual memory, nice, priority, user, process IDs, they come and go. All of those ones with uptime, and if there's any zombie process, all that information is there. But at the same time, this activity will be reported here on the strace there. So at this point, let's say I'm going to quit out of top. If I just do a queue and top is not running, this program terminated. And you can see it closed right here. So this is a very good test that I showed you on this one, but let's do this. I was talking about GNU and other utilities, Geog and other one. So we did the update there. I also mentioned about the graphical interface. So I'm gonna just click on here and I show you the graphical interface. So you have an option for Firefox. The entire thing says your kind of display. You can click on each of desktop that you can open something here, and you can just say, well, I want to open another terminal. You can click on terminal and you just open a command line terminal. So we're jumping between the desktop and a command line interface. This is your command line interface. Every time you open a command prompt, you have a shell. And then that shell $sign is pointing to the bash at this time. So for the 801. If I just open another, sorry, if PS is there, if I just open another bash, then I just spin off another process, which is the second bash, that process ID of this one. So if I just have Bourne shell, I just did that one, and now I'm on a Bourne shell. So PS now echo $sign is pointing to for the 893. And then let's say if I have a corn shell is not there, that means I have to install it. So since I have root access, I could say sudo dnf install corn shell. I'm just going to install it just so you understand it, how to install a package and how to not install a package. And then, but at the same time, when you have bash, it is a superset of Bourne shell and corn shell. You don't need both a corn shell and another one. So now corn shell is there. If I just spin up a corn shell, PS is there. Export name is equal Wahid, let's say, and then export number is equal 5. My favorite number is say echo name and then $num. That those two will be say Wahid 5. And then if I just exit out of this one, now I'm on the Bourne shell. Now if I say equal $name and $num, those are not defined there. So I have to say echo export name is equal Wahidullah, and then same thing with export num is equal 55, 5, and then echo now $name. Whatever is defined on this shell, that is defined here. And same thing with the $num. So if I exit out of this one, again, echo $num is not defined. And then now let's say I say which C shell. C shell is not there, which through C shell is not there, sudo I'm going to use yum this time instead of DNF. You could use whichever one you want. Sudo DNF yum install, and then we say through C shell. Through C shell, when you install it, it comes out with a superset of TCSH, which is a superset of C shell. So which C shell is like syntax. So if I say just get into through C shell, and then yes here, now if I have to define like a variable name echo, I don't say export. I say set env, and then name, and then say there's no equal sign. You could say Wahid, and then now say echo $sign name. It will sorry, lowercase. It has to be case sensitive. So that's the variable I define. And similarly, if I say set env num 10, and then echo $num, that is there. And then also you could say print env, that's giving you a list of the variable. So print env tail minus 2, that would be the last 2 that I define. Or I could just say egrep, and then just look for name or matching noun. So this is the whether the string is there with egrep is going to multiple string match. So you can say whether it is name or noun, just show me that one. So if I say env here, and then there's more than one, like I want to see host, group, and name and noun, then I could say here, notice that when I do this command, I have to type in host in uppercase, host, and then in order to get the host there, whichever one variables are there. But if I don't want to get the host name, write it in uppercase, I type in this one, it's not going to come. So there's a syntax with -i, meaning ignore the case, you can still match it there with the host. Notice there's more than just name lowercase and uppercase for name. So once I did the ignore case, it is just matching those ones as well. So if I just did this one, I could also pick up, let's say I run this command, and then I say, well, those are the variable, but I'm looking not for the rest of them. I want to show you a simple one just to match those ones, because it doesn't match the host. So I'm going to get out of this one, and I say, okay, let's do this up, and then say print a $0. $0 means the entire line. And if I say $1, it is just that one. But $2 doesn't exist there. There's no separator there. But if I just say here, if I say cut minus delimiter is equal sign, and then equal sign the delimiter, and then I say minus F1 field 1, it only shows me the variable key pair value. So if I say field 2, that would be valuable. You could do a lot of things with these commands. So if I just I'm on the directory here, clear screen ls -l, like for example here, I have all these files with D as the directory. So I can do a find minus type D. It will just list all the directory that are directories on this directory. So if I just say this and say find dot minus type dot slash desktop, and then say minus type D, it will only show the one directory. So make dir under dot slash desktop, and say dir1, and then make dir2, and then now if I just run this command, it is just going to show more than one. If I see minus exact ls minus ld, if for each one of them, show me the permission of them, I can get that information here. Say, show me that they are directory, read, write, execute by the owner, read, write by the group, and then read and execute by the group, and read, write, read, execute by others. And that's coming because of UMask. So UMask is 22. If I'm creating a directory here, say make their a new one. Now ls minus ld new one. Notice that it has 755, meaning that 777 minus the UMask, which is 022. That is going to give me 755. So that directory is by default that one. So I put this pound in front of it. It should not say command not found, because somehow it does not understand that it is. So every other system, when you do a pound, it knows that it's a command on the command line. So let me just make sure that there's no space before that. No, there's no space. So it is still not doing it. The UMask minus that number. So if I say ls minus LTR, the new dir is there, or in. Notice that I'm gonna say new file, patch a new file. So and a new file, new file. This one is an empty file, but if I do ls minus ld, ls minus ld, it shows me that it is a file that's a regular file. Read, write by the owner, and then read and by others in the group. So how is that calculated? Is UMask 666 minus a UMask, which is 022. That is going to give you a permission of 644. That's read, write, and there by others, by group, by owner, and then read and read by others in group. So, and that is permission stuff. I have videos on it. So if you go on the MyWebUniversity, also if you look at chapter 2 or 3, I believe it is. Let me just see what chapter I have, the change mode and change ownership. I believe it's on the chapter 3. Yeah, change mode, change owner, and change group. So when you go to change mode, you see these tables. I have explained all of that one in a very nice format, and I have showed you what the 775 means, what the 644, and so on. All of that details are here. You're welcome to understand it and how you change the permissions there. So I'll just give you a summary quickly here, so you understand what is going on there. And then for permission, we talked about it, and then we talked about the GUI. Well, I want to show you more on the GUI. So on the GUI, notice that it is this nice desktop. You can right click here and then change the background display. So if you want to change the background, you can change the background, and the background options are here, a number of them. So whichever one you prefer to choose. If you like this one, for example, you click on it, and then when you close this one, now your desktop background already changed here. You can see here. So the other thing that you could do on change background display setting, you can do also display setting for different resolution setting if you want to make it smaller. For making a video, I made this resolution, so and that is good enough. I don't want to change it at this time because I want to make sure that you can read everything as I do. And then on the terminal itself, you can also look at how the terminal is configured, and you can just change the appearance of the terminal if you want to change it. At this time, I'm leaving all those to your option because it's basically your desktop, whatever you feel comfortable with. Play around and then do it. It's just a button to click on in the GUI and work on it. At the same time, here you have graphical interface for programs. On top of this list that you have here, you can see here you can spin off of Firefox by just going to Firefox and let's say go to www.mywebuniversity.com, and then it will go to MyWebUniversity, or HTTPS youtube.com/ at MyWebUniversity. That is my YouTube channel. So by default, it will open my YouTube channel here. That would be just these videos that I'm just making it for you. If you're done with this one, you can open another tab, and you can open another tab, and so on. This is just the browser. Similarly, if you go here in the file manager, like on the, I'm sorry, this is the calendar. I just have to move this one a little bit here. Okay, this is file manager right here. So file manager is like this file manager on Windows. You can just come in on your PC and then look at file manager and all the programs, directories, folders. And similarly here, you have based on what the home directory, or you can go to downloads, or let's say I did on the desktop. You can just go on the desktop, and then just I open these other DIRs. You can right click and say delete it, and you move the trash, or whatever you want to do with it, or just right click new folder and say dirt1, and then you just create it. And then inside dirt2, for example, you create another one. You can open a new file or open a terminal, and then automatically opens the terminal on that one. So there's a lot of nice stuff here. df-h shows you the hard disk information, saying that this is your file system. cat etc fstab file, for example, file system table, it shows you all the details of it. And so let me just show you that one, etc. So by boot, whenever you boot the system will have this root partition and boot partition and home directory that are getting mounted at boot time. So if you say mount command, it will show all the mount commands that are there. And then if you could say etc fstab file system table, it will show you the content of it. If I look at the line number -n, you can see that some of the line, for example, root partition is this. But if I want to see what is the file system, I remember I told you that a different type of file system, and some of them are like battle file system, extended for file system, XFS, extended file system, ZFS for Unix. Solaris, like Unix is for Solaris, you have ZFS as well as Unix file system, UFS, and then NFS for network file system, Ceph for common internet file system. There's Samba file system, there's ZFS, zettabyte file system, battle file system. So like here, we are looking at the -t extended file system. So df-ht, if we say T and then extended 4, I saw extended 4 on the boot partition that is there. But the other one was a battle file system. So cat etc fstab file system, you can see battle file system. In order to get that one, you have to say, instead of this, you say btrfs battle file system. It will list all the battle file system. So whichever file system you have mounted it, you can get it their information. And then there's information about your resources on the system, like free-h. It shows you in human readable, -h means human readable. When you run top command, it also shows you the memory that is 8 gig allocated on this one. And then there's a swap space, and everything is here. So you can clear a screen here, say, let me just make this one a little bit bigger. Okay, so free-h is a human readable, and it says you that is there. And then top give you all the system resources, and the load average is showing 0.5, and then CPU user 0.5, and there's not much activity. You can see the system is pretty efficient. So you can say uptime also to get the system uptime, free-h I showed you, and then cat/proc/meminfo Remember I told you that the proc file system or memory-based file system, they are 0-byte file system. That's 0-byte. It is written on the memory as pseudo file system. So the data, even though when I do a ls minus ld cat proc mem info, it shows 0-byte, similarly with the CPU info. But when I say instead of LD, if I say cat on this one, it will show the line number. The files that has all the CPU information. Similarly, for example, if I want to do a portation for the cat slash proc slash portation, this one is a portation, and then it's gonna say portations, and then with S, and so portations show all the portation SDA, SD, this. So on this system, if I want to become root here, let's just become root quickly. Because I'm showing a lot of stuff and I want you to learn as much as possible on one video, and your time is valuable to me. So it's not a waste of your time at all. When you're learning any part of it, you can repeat some of these ones, and then you can train other people once you understand the concept behind it, why we're doing this one. So cat proc file system, we could also do fdisk -l dev /sda, for example. The SDA, you can see that all the SDAs. But if I want to see SDA1, you can read that slice or that portation. SDA2 similarly. And then if I want to go disk -l itself, it says that what are the devices that are available so that I can do it. If I want to say dev /sda3, SDA3, then that slice will be read there. At the same time, you can do ls block, list of block on file system that you can see all the file system data. You can do IO stat on the system, and then IO stat is not installed, but it says you want to install sysstat, and that install it, and now IO stat will be available. So clear screen IO stat, and it's going to give me IO stat. IO stat 1.5 means run every 1 second, 5 of them, and then just terminate. Similarly, if I do a VM stat for virtual memory statistic, you can get the VM stat there, which VM stat is there. So if I say VM stat 1.3, run 3 of those outputs every 1 second, it will give you that. And then we're talking about the free and other ones. Let me just show you also swap space. So cat /proc/swaps shows you how much swap space if you have allocated anything on that one. It will show you. df-h there. If you want to say, for example, df-disk usage minus a run everything in summary and human readable for this one, it says, okay, this one is running that. But if I want to say, for example, user, that's a larger one, you can do, and that one is 6.1K. User bin to see all the binaries, that's how much. So if you want to get a list of all the binaries here, you could do ls -l, and all the binaries are there. So you could say, for example, the gawk and awk, for example, let's say I'm looking for everything on the user bin that is stored with Z. So I could do this one and say ls -l bin, and then I say grep Z. So I want to go with the grep first character of that one is to start with Z. So notice this one is not going to find anything. Why? Because I have to do an op here and then say print $9. So I get the print $9, which is the file names first. And then on top of that one, this is giving me all the files. Now the one that is started with the Z, I'm going to just say, and now grep minus I lowercase z or uppercase, it doesn't matter. So at this stage, I'm going to be interested on anything that matches that one. You could see that there. So if you're looking for like a zcat command, obviously you could just say grep zcat. That is unique to that one. So anything with zcat is going to match that information there. And then if you see, okay, if I want to get a man page is on this one. So tail -1, the last one, and then I could just do this one. A short version of this one would be just to type in man and then do single quote like this. But why bother when that information you could do a clear screen man zcat. So the whole thing is there available for you. But I'm showing you a number of ways with awk and geawk and other ones you could do. So like right here, I could say, if I want to see cat list.txt, what is in the content of that file? And then I say, whatever is the file that is there, show me only this part of the permission. So if I say start list.txt, then it will give me that information for a statistic of that file, list.txt. Similarly, the statistic is basically the size of the file, the inode structure, and then the permission, who accessed the file last, and who owns it, who is the owner, who is the group, who is the permission, and what kind of file or directory it is, and so on. But here, when you do ls -l, you can use geawk or GNU awk or awk itself. Whether you do awk or new awk is an AWC, an AWK or geawk. So all of these commands are interchangeably can be used. Some of them has a little bit more features than other ones, depending on what you want to do with it. And you could say, let's get the print $0. So if I want to say $0, this is I have to close it, and it will just basically $0, meaning that point to everything back there. So if I say echo, this is hello world, this will just say hello world. And if I say here awk print $0, that means just do the hello world there automatically. So the argument that are coming to awk either is from a standard in or standard input file. So I could just also pass them from an input file or write it in a script and run it in there. Watch my other videos on awk and everything we could do. But here, let's just do it from the standard output. So the output of one command becomes the input of awk. So right here is this is the command. I could say geawk, GNU awk, and then I could say print $1. $1 is meaning that everything here before the first space, $1, and then that would just give me those. And $2, the second field. And $3 is third field. So root. And then $4 is also root. And $5 is the other one. So let's look at the $9, which is the file name. And that is the file name here. So now if I say on this one, say grep -I less there, it will just do this. And then I could say -exec cat -n list.txt. So I mean cat -n, in this case the argument is already there. I can look at the content of it. It is there, cat -n. So no such file. Somehow it did not pick it up. Let me just see why it did not pick it up. So I say this, and then I say grep list.txt. That picked it up, and then I say -exec, and then I say cat and this command, and so it does not. So cat list.txt will just do that one. So why is it not picking up that one? List.txt. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. This is not part of the find command. If I do a find dot minus name, and then I say less.txt, notice the difference here. Less.txt, I'm going to find this one, but now I say run the minus exact command and cut that file for me. It will do it. And if I put a minus n here, it will do it. But why I didn't find it with the ls minus l? Because I could not do minus exact for that one as an argument. You have to say pipe it to that one, then read it that one. So let's do uppercase here, clear the screen here. This command does not run because there's some issue here. You have to say while read var do and then cap the $var. Actually, you could say echo reading the content of the file $var now and then dot and then say cap minus n to show the line number also $var and then done. So it shows that reading the file and then it gave you the variable which the file that we were reading it and everything. So if I want to remove that file, all I have to do is say on that while read, and instead of reading the file, say removing the file, and then right here instead of cutting it, I could say rm, and now say it's done. Removing the file, I remove regular file. The text is done, yes option. It prompted me for yes or no, but because I did not say accept it, so I have to do /bin to make sure that it does not prompt me for it. So this one, I will show you what does that mean. I removed it, which RM, by default, it says whenever you remove something, it is using the remove alias RM, and then it says -i interactively prompted. But because I was doing it within the script, I forced it with the /bin, meaning that don't use the alias, use the binary RM to remove that one, and it did it. So here, another way you could do is that, for example, let's say I create a file here. Let's go to home wlutfi, home Wahid, and then I just go to desktop, and then right here I created this file directory dir1 dir2. So I'm gonna say rm dir remove directory dir1. RM dir1, sorry. RD is for the Windows. RM dir2. Because those directories are empty, it deleted it for me there. But I noticed I wrote two commands. So if I want to just create it using a for statement here, I want to just do this one on a this directory is fine. I'm just going to do it on this one. So I'm going to say for I and sequence of 10. So I want to create in sequence. I'm going to say for I in a sequence of this one and do. I'm going to say make echo making in the directory dir and $sign I, and then say make dir dir underscore $sign or dir just $sign I. So whatever the directory you stated on the echo, you want to just give it the same name. Make dir this one and then say done. Notice it says making the directory dir 1 through 10. On the fly, we just created 10 directories. Similarly, if I just want to remove those directories, I could say instead of this one, I could say remove directory and then removing directory. Because they're not files that are there with any additional files in it. But notice that if I just want to say make dir test1 and then say touch test1 and then file1, now if I just say rm dir test1, it's going to say directory is not empty. So if I want to just remove that directory with the content of the file and I have the ownership, I could say rm minus rf test1, and then now test1 is gone. But remember that whenever you use rm minus rf, it is saying recursively and force it with the permissions, so don't prompt me. If you want to delete something, make sure that it's an absolute yes, and don't just delete it something that you doubt, and then later on you say, well, I wish I had not deleted. Once you delete it, it's gone. And then make sure you back up and everything before you do something on the production system. And think about it a few more times and run the command. If you're not sure, ask somebody that who knows the system better to help you out. And then on the development machine, you can learn it and practice it. And if you made mistakes, it's a virtual machine you can clean up. Even on Google virtual machine that you go on the Google Cloud, and then you could just work on every day as a different system, and you don't have to worry about your sandbox VMs getting messed up with something by accident. You clean it up. So they clean it up after every day, after every user. So we did talk about updating the system. So now let's show you some more on the GUI right here. When we look at the file manager, for example, let me close this one. I say close this terminal, and then I want to exit out of the file manager also, and exit out of this one. So all of these programs that we open, you can also close it by just coming out and then start it off with a new one. So right here is software update. If you click on the GUI here, there's a list of software update, and that all the software packages that are on the system, whether it's GCC or PyCharm or something, you can install them from here, no problem. You can just come in and watch these, click on these ones, whether it's for learning, for work, or anything, you could just do it. And then in addition, if you're searching for something like, let's say Visual Studio Code, you could say, just give me Visual Studio Code to see if it is there. And then it says, yes, it is there. You can run and install the software. So in addition to YUM, RPM, and DNF, there is also flathub. Now, flatpak is the package manager that you can use. And then whenever you install a package that's part of flatpak, then it gets installed flathub. Flatpak is like similar to Snap on Ubuntu, Snapd. So Snapd is using the canonical stuff, and then it is just on the repository of canonical it's available for you. I just exactly forgot the repository name, but it is the flatpak. It is just called the repositories of that one is called flathub. So for canonical, the snap is snapd, and then all the repositories are available as a container there. I will have another video that compare and contrast some of these package managers, and there's a lot of them, whether it's on PKG on Mac and Solaris, or DNF in YUM, or flatpak, or RPMs on Red Hat CentOS and Fedora, or apt-get, apt-cache on the Ubuntu. There's a number of them. So we will just discuss them. Let's just install this one for now. And then on the command line, once you install this one, you can come back on the command line and you see that flatpak is going to get installed. So I have to type in sudo access privilege on the GUI. You can install it from the command line or the GUI, these packages. Let me make sure that, sorry, that it didn't work. Let me just see why the password is not recognized. Okay, so it requires a password. Let me just exit out of this one. I'm gonna open. It looks like maybe I'm logged on as another user or something. It should have recognized it, but I'm going to just open a terminal here first. Okay, terminal, and then I'm going to become root here. So do sudo-, and then I make sure that my password is working. And now I'm root here. So the software that when you run it from the GUI, when I click on the software, you can also say which software dash gnome, gnome software maybe, gnome dash software, I think it is, gnome. Let me just open up this, gnome dash software. Yeah, so just run the gnome dash software. That would be bringing the same interface in a graphical interface. You can see that it is downloading software catalog. It is just running as root at this time. So let's see if as root we can just go. This is a list of all the installed packages. And then if you click on the update, you know that your system is up to date. That's when we did DNF update. You saw that one. So under the install is a list of all the packages that are already installed. You can go through them and say, well, I need this other additional package. And then you can also go under explore and then look for like Visual Studio Code, for example, Visual. Let me just type it in, Visual Studio Code. Similarly, you can do it with PyCharm. Similarly, you could do it with a number of other packages. This video is going to go longer than what I thought I could do it, but I'm going to just cover some more before we finish this one. And once we get this screen refreshing and finding Visual Studio Code, we could click on install and then do that one. But at the same time, let's just go on these other screen and then close this other ones. I want to make sure that nothing is blocking some other process that we're just waiting indefinite for it. So this is there. I believe the other one closed somehow, or maybe no. Let me just do this one more time. So first of all, do a man flatpak. Flatpak is the command that says build and install run application at runtime. So some application like a Visual Studio Code, you can install it also using flatpak, install and then uninstall it, and all the listing here, everything from the command line. So I could say flatpak list, and then it will list any packages that are there, or install, and then install, and then Visual Studio Code. But Visual Studio Code is not going to get installed like this. You have to get the .com and all that package, which I don't like it. That's why Snap and Snap is a little bit better. Canonical, they configure it better, but Flatpak, they are just configuring it. Let's say I'm going to say no, that software. Clear screen and no, that software. So I run this one, and then on the search, I click on search. unable to install Visual Studio Code, you do not have permission to install software. So this is what happened with that one. Let me see why the permission is an issue. So I say Visual Studio Code. And then right here, you click on install. And I think it was just a permission because of the way I spin off the process. Now you can see it is just prompting me for administrative required to install software. So let me just authenticate with the password. Okay, it doesn't work with that one. So that's not good for the same administrator password that is running, and then it says installing here. So there's something wrong with the permission, even though if I cancel it, and it's gonna just keep trying for password. I'm gonna try to see if maybe the login password, I created another account, maybe it is reading for admin for that password. It shouldn't, because I didn't provide that as my user ID when I start the process. Yeah, it shouldn't do that one. So this one is still installing. So developer of flatpak, just look into why the permissions are giving you issue here. Unsafe and download size, all of these version history. So for Visual Studio Code, it tells you all the details here, but it is right now it's installing it 66%, 68% listed there. Even though it says that I couldn't install it, it is going through the installation. And if it gave you on the GUI that it is installed, you can open it. So let's see. Yeah, see right here, it says, even though it says you do not have it, it says click on the install again, and it did not install it. So permission was an issue on this one. Why is it an issue? Let me just do a flatpak list, and it's not giving me anything. So sudo I'm gonna type in the password here, become root first, and then flatpak list, and then flat. Okay, so gnome-software. I'm going to run GNOME software for the updates with the root access. Let's see, last time it was not allowing me to search for it, but maybe it is going to do it now. So I am with the root access, and I'm just going to click on it and say go ahead and install it. This shouldn't prompt me for password, since I changed my privilege with high privilege. Supervisory mode as root, and then it should now install it. So it is having the permission, and it's not prompting. Notice it is going to install it, and it says installing 24%, so far no prompt, 53%, and this looks good. So this is Visual Studio Code that's very useful for writing Python programs and C, C++, and everything else. And then at this time, I'm just going to start off with Visual Studio Code. Obviously, you can do other ones like PyCharm or some other IDE. We could do it Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, all of those ones we can install. Visual Studio Code allow you to do Python as well as C, C++, Go language, HTML, JavaScript, all of that one. So it's a very good tool for developer. And it says installing 99% done. At this time, it should succeed. And then I'm going to just wait for a few more seconds to close the end of file, make sure that it is successful and doesn't fail at this time. Now you can see it opens. It opens it, and then the flathub is showing the repository is available. So it did install it successfully. If I go back in the command line here and say, notice here it says could not activate remote peers until we failed. So somehow on the repository of that software for it was looking for more stuff and free desktop and information, whatever it is. I'm not going to read the detail of it. I'm just going to say flatpak list. And notice that now on the pack list is going to show that one. And then if I say, for example, grep -I Visual Studio, you can see that this is the one that you want to just run it. So if you say, let's say I'm going to do it from command line rather than opening it here, I can open it here, it will open it, but I don't want to just open it there. I'm going to close that and I'm going to run it from the command line here, say flatpak run and then com.visual studio .code. So that will just run the package and it will open Visual Studio Code here for you. So command completed, you can see it is here. And then if you just install the Python stuff here, you go to this extension, you just look for Python. And then these are additional tools that I have done on other videos. You're welcome to watch those ones. So in this one, you say Python install it and then installing right now the Python extension for Visual Studio Code. Then you can start coding into Visual Studio. Similarly, if you want to C++, you can do this one. While this one is installing this one, I could say, let's open a command prompt here and show you some more stuff. So let me just open a command prompt here and then clear a screen here. I could say which code. You can see that the binary, because it's a flatpak, it is not showing here as that package. But let me just look for something called Tmux, which Tmux, it is already installed. So if I just want to use Tmux, I could say Tmux is terminal multiplexer. Terminal multiplexer, I could say new session minus session and say call it Wahid. Now I have opened this window and then I'm on the current session here. So control B and D detach it. Now if I say Tmux ls, I could see that my Tmux is created. All I have to do is just, this is good for attaching it. So you could run some command here and then do your activity and just come back to it another day or another hour. Or if your terminal somehow lock up on you or closed, you can use Tmux to open multiple terminal. On each terminal, you can run a different window or different command. So for example, let's just do this. I'm gonna say Control V and I'm gonna say Shift plus, Control B first and then Shift this. Now I have opened the index. Let me just exit out of this one. I'm exiting out of this one. I'm gonna say Tmux ls. There's no server at this time, because whatever user you use to create the Tmux session, with that session you have to come back. If you did it with the root, you have to do it with the root. If you exit out of it, it is gone. But if you detach from it with Control B and D, detach it, it will be there. So I'm going to create a new session, Tmux. If I just type in like this by itself, automatically create me a window of 0 without anything. So if I just say Control B and D for detach, now if I say Tmux ls, I see that that window is there. So I could say Tmux and then ls is there, but at this time I'm going to say attach minus session 0. That is minus attach itself is good enough. You don't have to go minus s because I didn't name it anything. So I could say that one, or I could say Tmux A for attach, or just write the word attach. Then it will no sessions there because I exit out. Last time I did a Tmux, I exit out, so I didn't do Control B detach. So if I say Tmux attach, that would work. Now, if I want to detach again, Control B, D, again, if I just type in A, it will attach. Control B, D, and then ATP attach. So now, if I say exit out of this one, there's no more session Tmux. But I could create a new one, say Tmux minus new, and then minus session. I could say, for example, Tmux demo. So I could say here, I put the Tmux demo as the name of my session. So at this time, I could say, what is this is good for me. If I just could run a command and then come back to it. Let's just open a few more pans on each window. On the session, I open a window, and window 0 and then window 1 and so on. I could open another one of them. So let's do Control B and then Shift plus. It gives you on a horizontal way. If you want to do Control B and then shift percentage, it's gonna go vertical. So if I want to jump between this one, so now if I run top here and I say, okay, great, now how do I get into my first session on the top? I could say Control B and then use the up arrow. Now I'm here. So if I say htop is not there. Let's do an install on sudo install htop. So I say DNF install htop. Now this one is going to say you don't have privilege, but I could do a sudo in front of it and then type in my password. And now it's gonna try to install it. I say go ahead install it. It's gonna go through that one and then it will install it. But since it's finished, now I have htop here. So now I say htop here, and then that is running htop here, and then this one, I wanna go back to this window. How do I get that one? Control B, I go down, and then so Control B first, and then down arrow, and now I'm on that window, right? Control B and then down arrow, and then so I'm on the other window, Control B and then down arrow, right here I am on this one. So here if I say which Python, it's Python is there, Python dash version, Python 3.12. So let's run this one and say Python, get in there, and then I'm gonna say let's just go for I'm gonna just do a quick Python script, say just go for 1,000,000 underscore 00. That's 1,000,000, and then say okay. So the syntax was inaccurate. I'm gonna say for I and range, n is missed there. So 1,000 underscore 1,000 1,000,000 this, and say, let me see, unexpected indentation. So import os.system. I'm gonna clear that screen with all this information that is confusing. So I'm going to start fresh. Here I say for num and range of 1,000,000. Let's say 3 more zeros here. That's easy only read here. Then I'm gonna say indentation print the num is. Let's do a f string and say num is num is, and then print num as the value, and then close this one. So it should say for 1 to all those numbers here. And then at the same time here, if I just press enter, notice how fast that runs. So if I just do a quit from this other one, and that's the command, it runs so fast here. And then what I could do is just open one more subshell and detach it, and then let this one run forever. So if I just do the same thing and give 2 more zeros, or just do some computation here. When you do this number, if you don't want to even do this one with 1000, and then say print, let's say whatever number to the power of that number is going to go so increase. So 1000 to the power of 1000 is going to go forever. My system is going to run out of memory. So what I need to do is just don't do that part. I'm going to say for this one, just do up to 100. And then I say print f and say num to the power of num is equal, and then we say num to the power of num, and that would be computing it and print that one. So it did so fast for all those numbers. Look at the numbers that are here. It's like saying that print 10 to the power of 10. But that is that large number here. And then if you just do it 100 to the power of 100, like we did there, that's like really a huge number. So we can write an expression to do this one, but this some people might say, Wahid, you're just teaching us Python and C and C++. That's part of the operating system. So if you are using an operating system, usually you use an application like Python or programming like C or C++. So a lot of this coding that we are doing it is just there. Let's say I'm going to detach while my screen is there. I'm going to come back to it. Say I left it tonight like this and say Control B and then detach. Now I'm there. So I'm gonna say clear screen. I say Tmux ls, and then that Tmux window is still open. So now I say Tmux just attached to it minus a minus session, and then I could give the name of the session, say Tmux demo. Sorry, minus session unknown flag. Oh, minus tag. Tag name is the not session. Minus T for tag name. If you haven't used these commands, sometimes it's not just easy to remember all the flags on the fly. But I do work on them, and I do remember some commands on the fly. So I'm lucky enough to work on these systems all over the places. So if you look at this one, and now if I exit out of Python here, and then I say, okay, exit out of Python here, and then just run this one. But let's do a clear screen here and say Python -c for command, and then I'm gonna say print hello. Let's say I'm gonna say print hello world. So if I do this one, and that will just say hello world here. And if I run the date command, it run the date, calendar. All of those commands, and now if I just do again Control B and then detach, and then I come back to the same session, all my commands are there. Every other ones, they're like here on the top. So if I go on the Control B and then go to the right and then quit out of top and then say which GCC, and GCC is not there, sudo install GCC. Now I'm installing GNU C collection compiler. I'm going to type in password. Oh, not sudo, this DNF install GCC. So I'm going to install that one, and that is there. So at the same time, I'm gonna do Control B and then just go up arrow, and then I exit out of the HTOP clear screen, which G++, it's not there. So I'm gonna say yum install and G++. Whether you use DNF install or yum install, it is gonna say the same thing. So sudo with it and then type in the privilege. And I'm gonna say yes. Now notice on this window, it is completed. So if I say Control B detach, then I go back to attach it. Now I have the session available for me. On this one, which GCC is there, which G++ is there. And so G++, I just install it with this window or this pan and then say dash dash version. It tells you the version, and GCC dash dash version, it tells me in that version. So if I want to write a C program, whether I write it open another terminal, or just go here, vim, say test hello.c, and then say pound include the standard io.h, and say end main, and say printf statement, and say hello world, and then new line characters, semicolon, return 0, this successful function return, and then close the brace, which I did not open here. I have to close it and then finish up this. This is all looks like good. Pound include, and then standard io.h. So if no issue on the syntax, I could say cat minus n hello.c. Notice this program is hello.c is a C program, right? So if I just say, well, that's great, can I just I don't have to have a Tmux on session on this one, but I want to just show you while on this window, since we are doing it, I could just do this. And then I'm gonna close this other session. I don't need the calendar, so I'm gonna say Control B and then go down arrow, and then Control B and then left. Now I'm gonna close this one. So I have one for C, and I want to run one program for GCC. So C++. So I'm gonna say vim hello.c++. So if I write the equivalent of this one, I could just make this one as a .c++, and then just use this printf statement. All the syntax that it's there, it is still gonna work for this part. But in order to make it a true C++, you have to do include and then IO stream, and then here say using namespace standard then, and then say end main, and then you write the function and start this one. I could do a printf statement, works also, because printf statement is part of the standard IO, and IO stream understands it. But I could do a cout and say hello world. Console output is there, and then end line is there, and then you just say that. So at this time, I did this one, cout, because I use name as space standard in, I don't have to type in the scope resolution. So if I didn't do that using namespace, I had to do something like, this is a common, I have to do something like std : for resolution, scope resolution, and right here std : that would be a scope resolution. So since I did that one, I'm gonna say save it, and then now if I say clear screen, file hello dot star, notice that the first one, that is hello.c, it says it's a C source code, and the second one is C++. So if I look at the content of hello.c++, you can see this that syntax. That means I can compile it with a G++ minus O and hello, just to give it any name you could name it, but hello.c++ is the source code. Now I just created hello as executable file, and then you can see that that one, when you run, it will just say hello world. So if I say vim hello.c++ and I comment this line out and take this one out, and then just comment this one, because I'm now doing the scope resolution, I don't need that using namespace. So cat hello.c++, and you can see that if I do it by line number, you can see -n. You can see that on the line number 7, we're using the scope resolution, so we don't need to have this one declared here. And that's why I commented that one. So if you just compile it again with the same syntax of the code here and run the hello, it will still give you the same output. If you make a modification, obviously, it's gonna just work that way. Similarly, if I wanna just go Control and B here and then up arrow here and say cat -n hello.c, and then say gcc minus o hello. Notice I'm writing over the C program. Say okay, standard IO, I mistyped it, so I have to do a vim hello.c, and then go to the top here and just change this one to standard io.h, a standard header file, a standard input output.h. So now I run the same command, it compiles it, and notice I overwrote the other file. File hello. This is gonna say hello. So if the output is still both of them hello. So in order to know that one, you have to say this one. Okay, vim hello.c, and then you could say here, you could say hello from C programming language, from C code, right? So now I compile it, and this one I compile it and then I run it, and then it's going to say hello from C code. But this other one, when I compile it, now I have to compile that one with a different name. So vim hello.c++, and then you say a word, search for that one and just change that one to from C++. There you could save it. And now I'm going to compile that one. And instead of writing it to the same name, I'm going to say GCC, because Linux is case sensitive. I could say and just -o. I'm going to just change one word hello like that. In uppercase, that's good enough to define it differently. Hello.c++. So it somehow -o. Let me see what happened here. There's something that it did not work. More vim hello.c++. So here I wrote C out hello from C++. From okay, hello from C++. There's no error there. Why is it not doing it? Let me just see. Oh, the syntax in the compiler, you have to do G++, because I was doing GCC. That's for C code, so it worked. And that's saying that from C++. So G++ is the compiler for C++, and GCC is for GNU CC, GNU C collection compiler. Okay, and that's those examples there. I hope you like it so far, and then let me see if there's anything additional that I need to cover. We covered, let me just go through the slideshow here from current slide, and then we go. We talked about Fedora 39, we talked about installation, system update, the graphical user interface, the command line interface. Obviously, there's a lot in the command line interface. We cannot finish it in some days, in some weeks, if we have to do it, everything, but those are there. The Linux file system we talked about, the GNU utilities we talked about, the different shells we talked about, the apps. We did not talk about too much about the apps. We just talked about Visual Studio Code and maybe Tmux, and then you could do PyCharm, you could do Apache and all of those other ones for other videos. You could do it, and then interpreters and compilers, and we talk about interpreters like Python and Bash scripting. Compilers, we talk about C and C++, and then IDEs. We talk about Visual Studio Code. So that is covered all of the video here. And then let's get back to the Visual Studio Code to see where it is. So if I just want to exit out of this one, I could say Control B, detach, and then now if I say Tmux ls, it is still available for me to go back to that session. So Tmux attach will just attach me to that window. But if I want to exit out, say I'm done for the day, I exit out of here, exit out of there. Now I say Tmux ls, it's not going to say anything available. So that's good for your Tmux understanding. And there, I hope that helps you. This one, I have this window is still open because Visual Studio Code is there. PyCharm is installed, Python is installed. So if I just open a new window here, I can just give the name of the file, say, I want to open a Python script here, and then say print hello world, and then just giving it that code. And then right here, you could just click on run, and then run it to just run the code, run Python file, but we did not give it as a name. So you have to give the name of it, and then there's a lot of other options here that you could open the terminals, and then just on the terminal, you can also get the executable file here. So even though we did not save it here, I could just say file save as, and then at this time I could just say, let's just give it a name, say hello h.py. h.py, I'm going to save it. Okay, so, h.py, I saved it and there, but let me see if discard this information. Okay, so on the welcome, I'm going to close this one, close this one, and open a new one. I'm going to open a folder. I want to go to my home directory, and then Wahid, and then I'm going to just create a new file here. So home, and then let's see, file. Okay, under the, we have the terminal, which is right here. Let me just see what's going on here. So it is stuck right now. I'm trying to. When the system hangs while you're doing demo, it's kind of ridiculous. So right now it is hanging on this thing. For me, in order to close this one, I could just close this stuff right here and close the entire thing and then say exit out, and then let's go back here and then open a terminal again. And then I say flat pack list, and it is there. So flat pack and then run visual com.visual studio code. So that should run Visual Studio Code here. And then this is start menu. I don't need it. I just will open a new program and a Python script, and then just name it, say, for example, let's just create that X is equal. I'm gonna list a compression. Say X for X and range of 100 f X mod 2 is equal 0. So that would print all the positive numbers between 0 to 99 to 98 or 100. So that one will print that one. So now I'm gonna just name that one. The name is kind of weird here. Does it give me option to name it? Yeah, the title is okay. So wow, the name is kind of so weird. Untitled one. I want to just name it what I want to name it. So let me save us. Look at the name, it's so weird in here. I'm gonna say /home/Wahid/ test1.py. So I'm gonna save it as test1.py here. And then right here, while I'm on the command prompt here, I could just say ls-l test1.py, clear screen, and then cat test1.py. So it is just giving me that information. I could also run it here. Now let me make this screen a little bit bigger. Okay, so I could say ls-l test1.py, and then that is the content of the file. We did overwrite this one. So I'm going to say Python test1.py, and it will just do those numbers. If I change this one to maybe 1,000 and then run this one and say you could run it from here, or you could just do it from command line here. Now this doing that one, but notice that I did not save it, so I have to save it, save all if there's more files. But because I'm doing this one, I could just say run it, and then it will undo this. If I just say make this number x to the power of x, that is so huge. That is going to run forever, and then I will show you how to kill this process with the other ones, and then everything all together. You can terminate it. I could do it a number of ways. I could close it here, or I could terminate it with pkill command on that command. So, or run instead of run, we do the stop on it. So just to run this one, that with the .x, I want to just show you how big that number is. So let's do a save again, save all, and then now.
Okay, I found this on the web, friend.
If I just do that scared me. Like what go on? Look at that. The number is huge, right? So that is something that you could do at that range. I think we're good with this one. I'm going to exit out of this session, and I'm going to close this one. And then you can see that flatpak list is giving you all those ones. If I want to uninstall it, I could also uninstall it from command line as well as from GUI. From the GUI, remember it was GNOME, that software, and then you have to be root to uninstall it. So that was with that command that you could do with the root. So the search that you do here, if you do it with a regular user and you install it Visual Studio Code with another user, you cannot uninstall it here. So this says installed, and then if you just say go ahead delete it, it's gonna say do you want to just uninstall it? And then I say yeah, I uninstall it, but it's gonna prompt me for the root. So I don't have the root. I have to run this GNOME again with root privilege, or I could do sudo here u dash and then say install it there, and then look for the flatpak dash help and grep -I delete or uninstall. So the uninstall, it is the option. So at this time you have to say flatpak list and then grep -I code. That's Visual Studio Code in order to uninstall that one. And then I could say list and then say com.visualstudio.code. Not as this information with a list. You could do a list on it, or you could do info on it, or other packages. You could get a lot of information on that one. Show if there's anything with show, maybe search is there, maybe info is there. All the options that are on the command line you can do with that. So info was there. You could do info on it and get more package information. So at this time I want to say uninstall it. Uninstall it, since it is saying that it is there. Do you want to install it? It is done. So now if I do a list like before, this one, it is not there anymore. See, on the list, it is other ones are there, but that one's not there. But if I want to just reinstall it again, and instead of this, I could just say install. And then that would prompt me, then I install it from command line. We did it from the GUI, you can do it from command line similarly. So flatpak, like the snap, it is there, and then it is going to give you that option with everything that you can do with the flathub repository. So let me just say, this is great, installation complete, and then now if you do a list of it, it's there. And just one quick thing on the, I'm gonna exit out of this one, and then before I finish this one, let me log out of this one, power off, log out. I think I will just boot a Ubuntu session, and then on the Ubuntu session, I could power off this one. I just should have logged out and power off, or log out and then power off. And then you could do that one, or since it's a VM, nothing else was running on it, you could just power it off. But this one, say power off, it would be faster there. But I'm going to show you the Ubuntu, for example. Let's say on this Ubuntu session with the Canonical, excuse me, when we were talking about Flatpak, I mentioned that Flatpak is similar to Snapd. So I want to show you on Ubuntu, although app in Snapd or packages, Debian package managers, DPKG, and on other videos I have gone through those ones. I wanted to show you that the comparison between Snap and Flatpak. And then Red Hat also has YAM repository and DNF and other ones. So if I just open a terminal here and say snap list, you can see that the list of the snap is there. The canonical is similar to the repository for this one is for Snapd is canonical, and then for flatpak is flathub. And then for RPM is Red Hat Package Managers repository, and then YUM and the DNF is also the repository of repo list that is based on YUM or DNF that is enabled on those packages. For apt and apt-get and apt-cache and Debian packages, also there's etc apt.resources, conf.resources, and so on. So let me just show you on the apt part here. etc apt store, and then you see that apt sources.list. Sources.list is sources.list. It shows you all the packages that are enabled for apt repository. You can see on the line. So the one that does not have the first column, if you look at this one, all of them are stored with pound. If I just say grep minus v, and then first character does not start with pound, that's what this syntax means, then it will list all the repository that are enabled on this one, on the. But in the version of Snapd, you can see all the packages that are in Snapd packages. So Snap list Firefox, for example, this Firefox is a container. When you run this Firefox, it runs as a Snapd package, and the whole container is containerized, and similar to what Flatpak on the Fedora is doing. And then except the Snapd is canonical, it's a little bit more easier to do it. So man Snapd, if you look at it, man snap, you could see that it is there, and then the repository of this one is snap. So let me just show you one of these things. So which Firefox, you can see that user bin Firefox is the binary, but which Snapd, you can snap file user bin snap. It is just available as a snap packages there. And what I want to do here is let's say which laugh out loud cat maybe. No, it's not installed. Snap list laugh out loud cat. It is not installed, so I could install it, but I'm not having the time for a lot of Ubuntu at this time to just to install it. But I could also install it as apt install, and if I want to do it. So just to show you, I'm gonna do sudo and then. So if I want to just install a package as a Snapd, you say snap install laugh out loud cat. If it is there available for it, it will be installed, and then it is going to go to canonical on the snap packages, and if it finds it, that it will install it. It says installed now, which and laugh out loud cat, and then you can see it as a snap file snap bin laugh out loud cat command. It is just part of the symbolic link to user snapd. So if I say ls -l and then laugh out loud cat, that makes it in color. Every time I run it, give me a different set of colors. You can see that. And so anything that you could do, calendar, now do laugh out loud cat. But notice that when you run these commands, it will give you a different set of colors. At the same time, if you do snap a list, a laugh out loud cat, it says that this is installed as a Snapd. And then if you just say, give me information on it, it will give you information on that package in there. So what I was looking for is a Snapcraft, equivalent to a flatpak, which is using flathub. Snap is using Snapcraft .io for repository. So that's what I was looking for, and I found it. I'm gonna do a shutdown on this one also. I could do an exit here, and then just right here, click on it and say log out. And then after you log out, you will just be prompted to either log in again or just say, go ahead and shut it down. So I say power off, it will power off the machine. And gracefully you will power off the machine. So thanks again for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it, and make sure that make some nice comments so I could fulfill your needs, and then just subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and join our channel if you haven't joined. If you want to join, it is great to help you on the long run for this. But at least subscribe to our channel, watch the videos, and make some nice comments, and share our videos with your friends and loved ones so they could also understand and benefit it, and get a job that they want, that they deserve, and you deserve, and help each other. Okay, take care. God bless you all. Have a nice one, and see you later at some other day. When again I'm on a weekend. Today is Sunday, and it is 9:51 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in California. I live in Southern California, and I have a full-time job that I have to wake up tomorrow and do my job good. And I am honored to help the community. That's what I feel like. Someday I'm not here, but these videos and books are gonna help millions of people around the world. And God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye.